All right, making funny jokes before the show. Good morning once again, Flickin' Fanatics, and welcome to the Kenobi Showbie, our Obi Wan Kenobi Showbie. That is our review show on the Flickin' Real Fancast. We're reviewing episode 4 because we missed episode 3 last week. Today with me, I have Scott Fox and Sean Wingblade. We're about to get into it. We just came over from Miss Marvel, so catch that later. But we'll catch you in a few. Beedaloo, beedaloo, beedaloo.
Every time. Is it weird that I headbang to my own music? I'm like, yeah,
No.
that's a great track. Good job, Sean.
We're all a little self-indulgent sometimes. But
You actually played that and mixed that?
No, that's not what I meant by that.
Oh, okay.
I found it in the royalty-free music section.
It was
Hey, you
a
know what?
track
Good
in the
find.
back alleys of Mos Espa. All right. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
This is our second episode to review the fourth episode of Obi Wan Kenobi, titled Part 4. I love how creative they are with the titles of the Star Wars show.
all of them are just parts one. And I mean, we can also review part 3 since we all missed it as well.
Some of them are
touch on it.
chapters. Some of the shows they've done chapter 1, chapter 2.
Mhm.
Like the
Is
Book
it-
of Boba Fett was
The
chapter
book
2.
of Boba Fett, yeah, exactly.
Right. Here's my review of episode 3. It was better than the first two, but it's not great. Had a couple cool moments, but we're going to talk about the show, and I'm going to do my best not to be the jerk on the table. But everyone that has followed us over here from Miss Marvel, or if you're just joining us now, please let us know, what did you think about Obi-Wan Kenobi, or as they call him in Thumb Wars, Ubadoo Banubi, middle name Scooby Dooby.
And
Thumb
what?
Wars. Steve
Thumb Wars?
Odenkirk. Thumb Wars, yeah. He did Kung Pao,
Oh, yes.
and he does thumb movies.
Okay. Cousin to Bob? Brother?
Yes. Wait. Steve Odenkirk? Is that his last name? I could be wrong.
I have no idea who you're talking about.
We're off to a strong...
I have seen
start.
Thumb Wars, and we could just move forward to Obi-Wan.
Okay.
All right. So Obi-Wan, directed, of course, and being showrun by Deborah Chow, coming over from 2 great episodes of The Mandalorian,
Mhm.
which I think had most of us excited going in here.
Yeah.
So this episode, we start off with Obi-Wan in a back-to-tank licking his wounds from episode 3. He got raked through the coals, figuratively and literally, by Bananakin Darth Vader, and that was probably the most tense part of the last episode.
Mhm.
But it didn't seem like he was in this back to tank very long.
Not long enough, according to Tala. Tala is her name, I believe. Indira Varma, and she's like, "No, get back in there. You're not healed yet."
I wonder how many years it would take in a back-to-tank to heal Darth Vader. Because he seems to live in one.
I feel like he has the time. He should have
And
done it.
yeah, but clearly the
think
scarring
once
is so
you hit-
severe it won't matter.
Yeah.
I think once you hit age 30, you should be allowed daily back to tank dumps, because I think I'm getting ready for one.
My lower back could use one. And my hairline. Which also, since Obi-Wan got raked through the coals and burned severely, and there was open flames, his hair did not get touched. And again, movie physics would tell you that is not
No.
what happens. Hair
One time-
near
one
fire
time-
singes real quick.
One time I left the gas on inside my my grill with the lid down, and my igniter wasn't working, so I went to go grab a lighter, and I didn't even think about turning the gas off while I was inside the house for a minute. And I come back out, I open it up, no big deal. and then I light it, and I went to go in. I'm still like 2 feet away, and
Oh,
as soon as
no.
I got close to it, it was a fucking explosion. I had no eyebrows. The front of my hair was singed. I had to shave my entire face because my beard was just destroyed, and
Oh,
my
no.
whole arm, my entire arm, had to shave it just clean to let it regrow.
The only thing I could think is Obi-Wan must have been super sweaty.
Yeah.
And his hair was really oily and sweaty, and so it just didn't singe the same way that
he was
his
very
whole
wet.
coat burned, despite his hair being dragged through the ground too, all over those coals. But
Well, you know what? He might not have great access to the Force at all times, but he's able to keep that very well coiffed hair through the flames. Like, priorities, gentlemen, priorities.
I can appreciate it.
Speaking of priorities, I would like to ask where the priority of this plot is, because we are now 2/3 of the way through this show, and it has felt semi-aimless. Am I crazy here?
no, you're not crazy.
No.
It's
but
going a direction, but it's not a strong direction.
well, the
I
problem
think
is it's all about saving Leia, and that seems like it's an overdrawn out plot point that he saved her, he loses her, he saved her again. Can he just warp speed back to Alderaan, drop her off, and then go face Darth? Like, let's move on, or have the showdown with the second sister or third sister.
Yeah.
What is her name? Why am I blanking on that?
Reva.
Reva.
Reva? I don't know. Played by Moses Ingram. Now, to be clear, I love this little girl that's playing Leia.
Oh,
I just
she's awesome for the role.
Don't necessarily love how much of this is focused on her. She's doing great. And I think I just end up with a lot of questions through the show. Again, I do not think that Moses Ingram is a poor actress, but what they're giving Reva to do is progressively more and more not interesting as the show goes on. And if I'm off, I want everyone to, kick in, share your thoughts. But I'm just waiting for more of the show to work for me. And we had an entire episode almost in the Inquisitorius. No Imperial March, nothing resembling an Imperial March, no Sith themes. It just, everything feels lacking or slightly less than what its potential could be.
I think music can tell a lot of the story, and they could have
Especially
done a better job at reusing. Not even, let the new composer Michelle Yost, or I could be off on her name. Just let her use. I'm sorry, that broke me. Let her use more of the. Come on, man. I even when I pulled that image, I actually made the lightsaber longer because it looked weird to me that it wasn't long enough. So I actually made it taller, and I realized now this is a mistake.
One more inch and it'd be picking his nose.
You know what? You talk. I'm gonna Photoshop.
So the music could be a lot better. It's not the
You guys got any more of that
doesn't.
Star Wars?
Holy man! All right, Amber Heard. We're off the rails, people. What just happened here? Garth, you sent us down a rabbit hole. There's a lot of things that the emotions are not hitting properly in a lot of these spaces. I like the comment that they had a few seconds of Luke and a whole lot of Leia, and that wasn't everyone was expecting something else. However, we know that Leia knows Obi-Wan because in A New Hope, he's our only hope. She knows that this is the guy to turn to. And so this the relationship between them has to be so strongly solidified. She's 10 years old that she remembers him 8 years from now when the plot picks up. By the way, just looking at Ewan McGregor, he ages a lot between now and Alec Guinness. Of course, so does Owen Lars.
You bring up that point, and I think that it also lends a lot to the fact that she knew Obi-Wan more as Ben for the extended period of her life than Obi-Wan. And so it makes sense more so now that Kylo Ren's name was Ben Solo. Because at first we're like, she knew him for a day, right?
Your mustache and goatee match perfectly to Obi-Wan's head.
Yeah. Just looking top notch.
Perfect. But yeah, so she knew them you were talking about. Sorry. Oh man!
You guys know that like the GIF where they make it look like Anakin is like doing the pole dancing with the
Yes.
Anyways, what are we talking
So yeah,
about? We're still talking about
the
Miss Marvel?
relationship between Leia and Obi-Wan has to be strong enough that she remembers him in the future for being the person that she can turn to for hope. That everything's gone so bad. So I do like that they are building this relationship between the two, that she has to trust him implicitly, and he's got to earn that from her, because initially she didn't know who he was or what his powers were or what he could do or that he would be any service, and he didn't have any connection with the Force. So his gradual rebuild of this. I will say though that the Inquisitor Reva running might be the slowest Sith Jedi run I've ever seen in my entire life. Like,
she could take lessons from Tom Cruise.
Literally, Ezra Miller ran faster as the Flash, with worse form, and
So,
it's just,
such
and I
bad
don't.
form.
That's not on her.
I heard he picked
But
up
it's-
speed when he's got the law behind him.
That has a weird effect on you. You certainly run with more urgency, but
Definitely.
there were certain things that in the way they shot them, the way they did them, that it just seemed like, why wouldn't she force run? Like we've seen Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan in Phantom Menace are sprinting around at like blur speed, and we know that's a Force gift that they can use that power to move at incredible rates of speed, and none of that's really being done. I did like Obi-Wan holding the window and keeping the water up until the guys broke through, and then letting them.
And I like instead of just letting it go, he moved the pressure down the way and flooded the room.
Well, this episode should have been entitled "How Obi Got His Groove Back," because it was from the beginning. It was him trying to just move the thing across the table to straight up, all right, now's the moment where I need to get my shit back together because I need to hold this from killing us. And then and I was waiting for it from the moment he started it, and I'm like, they're breaking in the door. He's gonna divert the water and flood them out while he tries to escape. And I was in it. Of course, they deliver on that, and I thought it did great. That whole scene played fantastic, and it showed that all right, in moments of pressure, he can get his stuff back together. He can really do what he needs to do.
Let's rewind a little bit to Obi-Wan. Actually, before the Inquisitorius, when they were planning it, he does get introduced to some rebels or some people that are at least working alongside the path, trying to get Jedis to safe places and stuff. And we meet. Is it O'Shea Jackson? Is that his name? Ice Cube's son?
Yes, O'Shea Jackson Jr.
Yeah. And Judy, yep. And a lot of people were speculating that he might be Quinlan Vos, but instead is it Roken?
That's correct.
Broken? Okay. Yeah. So that was a little underwhelming. And I think kind of continuously, with the exception of the woman from Game of Thrones. You said the character's name, Sean.
Tala.
Tala. I keep trying to say it with an L. Yeah, Tala.
Yeah. Indira Varma is her name.
That is correct. But when the cast list came out, there were so many standouts there. Like from Fast and the Furious, you had Han, and then you had Indira Varma, and you had Camille Nanjiani, and like all these standouts, except for Indira Varma, have been pretty lackluster, pretty mediocre. Was it the fifth brother?
The
Inquisitor. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just waiting for more
from Fast and Furious.
All the knowledge.
It's one of those things where I think now it's also one of those things, even if you're a bit character, just being able to, Hollywood is full of friends of friends of friends of friends, right? People know somebody and they slip them into their movie, they slip them into their show. And it's just a cool thing to be able to say you are in one of the franchises, whether you get a major role or not, popping in for something small, even, hey, you were in it. It's kind of like Daniel Craig being a stormtrooper. There's all these little things that get worked into the movies that, and the shows, while they sound like, okay, this actor could be portraying this major role, they could just be also just wanting to be a part of the universe and being slipped in some way, shape, or form,
Sure.
or it's something that we haven't seen yet that will build going forward. The hard part is we got 2 episodes left. This is a 6-parter, right?
Yeah.
2 episodes left. They got a lot of work to do to get somewhere, because there's not a there's not like a path that we think we're on. Like, other than now he's got Leia again.
Yeah.
Where'd you go?
Obi-Wan really, to me, felt like the only prequel or like going backwards story that any of us wanted for the last 10 to 15 years. You know, when they're like, we're going back, we're going to do Rogue One. Rogue One ended up great, but nobody asked for it. And so we're going to do a Solo story. I think Solo's fun, but again, nobody asked for it. We've been consistently asking for Obi-Wan, and I think maybe to the detriment of, you know, Deborah Chow or whoever's producing it, our expectations were higher than anything. Boba Fett, sure, I guess, okay, give us a Boba Fett show, but we all wanted Ewan McGregor back. We wanted Obi-Wan, and I think a lot of us made up all the cool things that this story could be.
Yeah.
And
Boba Fett, do you mean by Boba Fett Mandalorian season 3?
2.5 Mandalorian.
2.5.
Oh, gotcha.
2.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that no one expected this to be a Save Leia storyline, and everyone made up, and that's where, you know, managed expectations are very important, not to just take the story. But yes, I agree that what you said, this has been the only prequel story that anyone has been asking for.
Darth Maul. I've been asking for that too.
Well, that's called Attack. That's called Clone Wars.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He got a lot of his story fleshed out in the Clone Wars, which I didn't watch, so I don't know it exactly, but I know that he was a very prevalent part of it.
Can I just say, I've attempted to manage my expectations and allow this to be whatever it is. The hard part is and Jesse touched on it, is the lack of the cohesive storyline. We've revisited the same plot point multiple times now with the capture and rescue of Leia. And now that they're being tracked at the end of this, are we going to have, is episode 5 and 6 going to be a third round of capture and rescue Leia? Are we hitting that again? I really hope not as well. Like, get her safely home and let Obi-Wan do what he needs to do. The problem is, I have a feeling if once he gets her home, he's going to attempt to hide for forever. But we need a final showdown with he and Darth Vader. However, we know the final showdown really happens in A New Hope, but there has to be something. He's been calling out to Qui-Gon, asking for help from his master, yet to happen. And there's this constant thought of, when's he going to show up? When's he going to help him tap in? When's Obi-Wan going to become the most powerful Jedi that he was supposed to be?
I think that we're going to see a Rise of Skywalker moment where Qui-Gon essentially
Palpatine's going to suck his soul out?
where Qui-Gon gives Obi-Wan a pep talk at the right moment to defeat either the Inquisitors or Darth Vader, and then run off, because, you know, obviously he doesn't kill.
And the only Inquisitor we've seen fight is Reva.
The other ones have just been like, the
one has just been complaining, complaining that she keeps doing things and stepping over her position. Of course, Vader choking her out because he told her that failure was not an option, and trying to, basically, he was going to kill her.
Yeah.
Also, at least they're showing the intensity of Darth in this.
Garth is right. We need more back to tank.
Yes, there is an issue with the fact that he's like choking out Revan, and she's like, I let them escape so that we could follow them. I'm like, that's dumb. Vader should continue choking you out, because you had them both. You let them escape so you could, I guess, to follow them back to the path and get more Jedi. Right?
Exactly. Yeah. To get all the Jedi versus just Obi-Wan. But at the same time, Vader's only motivation was Obi-Wan. He didn't care about the rest of them. He only wanted Obi-Wan. So there was kind of I half agree with what you just said, but at the same time, I get what they were going for.
So it feels like a lot of it is just a little undercooked, I guess. And we've had 4 episodes so far, and I feel like episode 2 and 4 both have a lot of filler elements, with like 1 being a decent start and 3 being fairly strong. It's 6 episodes, which when you have 6 good episodes, it doesn't usually feel enough. Like, I loved Moon Knight, and I thought 5 of those episodes were quite good. With like maybe 1 week episode, but still, when that ended, I was like, this wasn't enough. It still felt rushed. And so now we have 2 episodes
drawn out.
I'm like, Yeah, it's kind of. Until we get to the point, and I guess maybe by the end of the show we'll know what the point of it was. But right now, I never thought I'd say this, but this show doesn't seem to justify its own existence and feels a little needless. Not that it's terrible. I don't think the show is terrible. I'm just am missing my investment.
Sure. And maybe we'll skip episode 5 review and just do a finale review.
No, well, episode 5, I think it's possible, but I think episode 5, that's penultimate episode. This should be the one that really brings everything into focus, and then it just is the culmination at the end. But I feel like that's a lot of distance to go, not knowing exactly where we're even at.
Yeah,
there's no real clear picture of what these 2 episodes are, other than they're being tracked once again, and that's all we know.
Like, what is the conflict that we're driving?
They should call this show Star Trek. I thought it was funny. No,
all
right,
no,
great.
Banned from Flickin' Reel.
That's fine. That's fine. I'll see you guys later. I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, I did, just a brief moment. I did kind of like all the lights getting turned off and Obi Wan taking out troopers with lightsaber being like the single source of light in there. But to counteract that, Tala knocking a stormtrooper out by slapping him in the helmet is one of the dumbest things I've seen in Star Wars.
Or how about her the entire time in the control room choking a guy out? And there are like 4 other people standing like 15 feet away. Like you
having
hear the
like full conversations with Obi-Wan and the guy going like, "Hey, what you talking about?
What are you talking about? Are you opening? You're opening what doors for? Okay. Oh, your guy. He's in. All right. Cool. Just making sense. I'm sitting 10 feet away.
last thing, and then I'll wrap it up from me. We had a scene that I thought was going to be fascinating, and that was when he basically gets to the Jedi tomb, and it's this collection of like slain Jedis and stuff over the years, and they keep going here, and then they go here. I feel like the scene lasts like 5 minutes. It's like shot. I was like, they're building to something. What are they going to show? It's shot, and then the scene ends, and I was like, nothing. I was like, what? What was the point?
We're supposed to feel bad for the kid, the youngling. Yeah.
By the way, why would he keep those as trophies?
It's weird.
I'm a passer, so I won't say what I was about to say. What a tool. What a heathen. Like, of all the things you could kill and keep as a trophy, also, did he go back and collect corpses after he was done?
Or somebody else had to grab the kid from the Jedi Order, because at that point he was getting super tan on Mustafar, so I don't know who grabbed that kid.
Not only that, how many of these guys were basically cut in half? None of them looked like they had major wounds. I've got a lot of questions, and not as many answers as I'm supposed to have. But it's a weird thing that Vader wants to hang on to. But I will say, going back to your thing, where
are those Vader's trophies though? Because he's
or the Inquisitor trophies or something.
They were Inquisitor trophies, yeah.
But Inquisitors were hired by Vader, so where did they get this little kid from?
Yeah, because the young ones were wiped out pretty efficiently.
Sean, you gotta bounce.
I do. I got to get going. If you want to wrap it up or whatever you guys want to do.
Pretty much, I was gonna wrap it up. I hope the show improves. There's people that are out there liking it right now. I'm overall underwhelmed, willing to be surprised. Maybe it has a strong finish. But Scott?
No, I was just saying, I was raising my hand. I'm one of the people who really does like it. I'm just hoping that it will be more. I want a flashback scene. Why are so many windows? Oh my gosh.
It'll look cool. You can see the fishies.
I guess the point I was going to bring up is why lead your marketing with Hayden Christensen?
Yes.
James Earl Jones' voice. They have 2 different stunt guys in the Darth Vader suit outside of like Hayden Christensen. And we've seen like a flash of him off to the side. So it's cool having him in there, but leading your marketing feels disingenuous, cheap, and outright deceitful. So that's my
They
last
need
point.
the
that I like.
showdown with him taking the helmet off so he can see what happened to his face.
Yeah, I agree with
Let me
that.
kill
Like-
you with my own eyes. All right, everyone, thank you for joining us. Pop in the comments, let us know your thoughts. Join us maybe next week if we decide to review episode 5. I think we're all feeling.
It'll really depend on the quality of the episode. If it's a good episode, I think we'll hop on here and give it its fair shake.
Otherwise, we'll just cap it off at the end there.
At the
Or
finale.
we'll only review even number episodes. That's how we're doing it. All right, guys. Thank you for joining us. Join us next week where we once again talk about Obi-Wan, Miss Marvel, and various other things. There is a Jurassic World review up now. If you haven't checked that out, please do that. And it's been fun.
It was a movie.
Real. It was a movie. This is a show, and we are Flicking Real. All right, guys. Keep it real. We'll catch you on the next video. Bye. I clicked the button, right?